welcome to the Rivals of Ixalan pre-release guide. So in this series, basically, I'm going to do a color by color. I'm going to start with white and end with, I think it's red. It could be black, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do all 5 colors and the multicolors and maybe the artifacts as well. I'm not going to do every rare in the set because that's just too much, and also it's very hard to judge these rares because you're not going to open them that much. So I'm just going to judge the commons and uncommons, because those are the ones you're most likely going to open and most likely going to be playing with. I'm just going to give you a little advice on each card and give it kind of a rating, F through A. So the first card we have is Blazing Hope, which is 1 white mana, and it's instant. Exile target creature, so sounds pretty good, with power greater than or equal to your life total. This card is not that good. Maybe in Modern, where you're playing Death Shadow, you're hurting yourself, and it can become like a free path to exile when you're on 1 life. But other than that, you know, it's only good when you're behind. If you're ahead on life, it's never good. I think this card's very bad, unplayable. I'm going to give this an F. Okay, so next card is Majestic Heli. Helicopter? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce the card. So it's 3 and a white for a 2/2 flying dinosaur. So it's kind of an okay rate, but it's got a nice little bonus. When it attacks, it gives another target dinosaur you control flying until end of turn. So pretty good. I mean, if you're given like a 5/5 dinosaur flying, that's really good. I'll give this card a C+ because it could be better. It could be a B- maybe or something like that. But the fact that it's only dinosaur and not creature, and this card is white, and white usually want to be in white-black vampires some percentage of the time, so it's not always going to hit. So then it's just a 2/2 flyer for 4, which isn't great. So I'm just going to give this a C+ for now. And I'm going to try and read all the cards, because shoutouts to Wayne, because he listens to, some people listen to this, they just listen to it, they don't watch the video, so they might know the card I'm talking about. So just a quick shout out. Next card on the list is Imperial Ceratops. It's 4 and a white for 3/5, so not too good, but it's got Enrage. Whenever Imperial Ceratops is dealt damage, you gain 2 life, which is actually kind of nice, and it synergizes with a card that's going to be 4 cards down the line that I'm reviewing. I think this card's okay. Again, I'm just going to give it a C+ because it's not super powerful, but it is nice and defensive, so it's either a C or C+, basically. Next card we have is Everdon Champion. It's 1 white, so it's actually, decently hard to cast on turn 3 for a 2/2, which, not a great deal. That'd be kind of like a D card where you might play in your deck if you're desperate. But it's got the clause, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Everdon Champion, which is pretty good, actually, because it just means it's a really, really good blocker. Like, if they have a 7/7 dinosaur that doesn't have trample, you can block for days. So it kind of, forces them to get a removal spell. But at the end of the day, it's not really going to win you the game. It's just going to buy you time. So I think I'll just give this card a straight C. I don't think it's super good, but I think it's got some unique things going on about it. And if you put like maybe an aura on it, maybe it could be better. Okay, so next card is Pride of Conquerors. 1 and a white for an instant, and it's got the Ascend mechanic. And the Ascend mechanic is if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. And it reads, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and if you've got the City's Blessing, they get +2/+2 until end of turn. And I think this card on its own, if it's just a +1/+1, it's not very good, because there's a lot of better combat tricks that do better things for the same amount of mana. But it is all your creatures, so maybe in a vampires deck, this can be good. I mean, there's a lot of vampires in the picture, and the conquistadors, the conquerors. So I think specifically in black-white vampires, you should play this. But if you're in a Naya dinosaur deck, or your pre-release, or your white-green dinosaurs, I don't think you should play this card. So I'll give this like a build around, which is basically kind of, you want to play a lot of creatures with this. You can't play maybe a 10 creature deck with this. It's just not good enough. So anyway, next card is Baffling End, which is 1 and a white. Also, hoping my editing skills are going to show you these cards. I really hope it works, but I guess it's going to go up if it works. So Baffling End is 1 and a white for an enchantment. When Baffling End enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls will convert a mana cost 3 or less. So, super good removal. It's only 2 mana. Really, really powerful, but it's got a little bit of downside. When Baffling End leaves the battlefield, target opponent creates 3/3 dinosaur creature token with trample. So pretty decent downside, but it is an enchantment, and people are going to have to sideboard enchantment removal. They're not going to have that main deck unless you're unfortunate. So I think this card's really good. I'm going to give this a B. Next card is Famished Paladin. So it's a 1 and a white for a 3/3, which is an amazing rate. I would just give that a B straight out of the bat. But it's got a clause, it doesn't untap during your untap step, so, pretty big drawback, because if you only get to attack with it once, you know, why would you put it in your deck? But whenever you gain life, you get to untap him. So I think, again, this is kind of a good card, but you need to be in Vampires, because, you know, Black-White Vampires has a lot of 1/1 lifelinkers that are going to allow you to untap this, and, you know, cards with instant speed that, you know, are going to gain you life. So I think if this isn't the Vampires deck, it's going to be a B. Otherwise, I would advise not playing it unless you have a lot of life gain in your deck. So the next card is Sky Marcher Aspirant. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's 1 white mana for a 2/1. And it's got Ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. I think that's the last time I'm going to explain Ascend. I'm pretty sure you all know what it means, so I'm just going to say that the last time. But it has flying as long as you have the City's Blessing. So right out of the gate, it's a 1 mana 2/1. I mean, that's already a good deal. It's going to be good early, because if you plan on turn 1, you're going to get for 2, maybe 4 damage. And maybe trade with a 2-drop. Late game, you know, it's okay. You can you can trade with a 2-drop, and it's 2 power. And also late game in a board stall, if you've got a lot of creatures or permanents, you get City's Blessing. It's a 2/1 flyer, so you should be bashing in for 2, which is pretty solid. So I give this card probably a C+. Next card is Forerunner of the Legion. 2 and a white for a 2/2 vampire. When he enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a vampire card, reveal it, then shuffle your library, and then put that card on top. So it's kind of like a tutor, but specifically for vampires. And he's got the second clause: whenever another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So not a counter, so, you know, it's not super good, but it's still a relevant ability. And, you know, next turn he is going to be a 3/3, because presumably you're going to tutor a vampire and play that vampire. I think this card's pretty sweet, especially if you've got like a really good vampire to tutor up, like you know, a rare from the previous set, like a Vona, or to be fair, I'm not reviewing the rares, but, you know, presumably a lot of the rares from this set as well. So a Vona, Butcher of Magan, or, you know, what have you. So I think this card's pretty solid. Again, I'll just give him a C+. I know I'm giving a lot of things C's, but I don't know, they're pretty good. Next card is Sanguine Glorifier. So it's 3 and a white for a 3/3 Vampire Cleric. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target vampire you control. So that includes itself. So that means it's a 4 mana 4/4 at base. So that's like pretty solid. I mean, that can beat down and, you know, win you games if the board is clear. But, you know, I think this card, again, I hate to say it, but it's probably a C+, because, you know, it doesn't wow me, but it is a good card. Okay, next card is Luminous Bonds. 2 and a white for an enchantment aura, and it's enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Very simple. You know, you put it in an opponent's creature, and they can't attack or block. I think this card's very good. It's always going to trade up. You're probably going to play it on a bomb. Like, I wouldn't advise playing this on just a 3/3 or maybe a 4/4, unless you're really desperate. But you want to save for your opponents a really rare card, like a big dinosaur rare that they open or something like that. So this card's probably a B. Again, it's just going to remove their biggest threat. Next card is on the list is Legion Conquistador. I'm not really going to talk about that, because, you know, you guys already played Rivals, or sorry, Ixalan, and that card is an Ixalan, so, you know what to do. You know, draft a lot of them, or you know, if you open 1, don't play it. If you open 2, you know, then you can play it, and the more the better. Next card is Exultant Sky Marcher, which is 1 white for a 2/3 flyer, which is a pretty good rate. It's a little bit tricky to cast because it's 2 white, but it is a very solid flyer, and the 3 toughness is relevant, because there's quite a few flyers in the format, so it can beat 2/2 flyers. And again, this one I'm actually just going to give it a flat C. Maybe it's a C+. I hate to give it another C+, but maybe it's a C+. Okay. Next card is Divine Verdict. 3 and a white for destroy target attacking or blocking creature. I think this card's much better than the previous set's card. Well, I think it was Inspiring Light or something like that. It was like 4 and a white to destroy target attacking creature, and you get to draw a card. It was so narrow, they could play around it, because if you left 5 mana, they would know you have it up. This one's a little bit different because it's blocking as well, and, you know, sometimes they have to block. And I think this is a lot better. It's probably maybe a B- or a C+. I want to see people playing around it. I'm not sure, but pre-release, definitely put it in your deck, as many as you can. It's going to kill a lot of things. Next we have Snubhorn Sentry for a 1 mana 0/3 dinosaur, and if you get Ascend, if you get the City's Blessing, it gets +3/+0. This one is the first really, you know, poor card I don't think you should be putting in your pre-release decks. It's early game, it's just an 0/3. It's not going to do anything. You know, at least Kinjali's Collar in the last set got you a bonus for playing an 0/3. This one, you know, you have to be quite ahead for it to be good. Late game, again, you mightn't even have 10 permanents. I just do not play this card. I don't think it's very good. I'm going to give this probably an F, unfortunately. Next one's Raptor Companion. You already know about that. We'll skip that. Next one is Martyr of Dusk. Now, here's a card I really like. It's 1 and a white for a 2/1 vampire, and when it dies, you get a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. So it's just, you know, 2 mana for almost, you know, 3 power and 1 of its lifelink. Super solid card. Again, it's not super crazy, so I'm just going to give it a C+. I know I'm handing out the C+, it's like they're nothing, but I think it's a good card, so you should definitely put as many of them in your deck as possible. Next card is Sun Sentinel, which is 1 and a white for a 2/2 Vigilance. I think this card's fine. I think, you know, Bishop Shoulder in the last set, which was a 2/2 with Lifelink. Lifelink is a much stronger ability, and that card would definitely get a C+. Sun Sentinel, I think this is just right on the curve. It's just a C, a flat C. Maybe Vigilance would be big. I'm not sure, but I think this is just a C, if not a C minus. It doesn't really wow me. Next card is Squire's Devotion. This is an interesting card because from the last set we know the Mark of the Vampire was absolutely insane. It would just be like, you know, you're losing and then you play a Mark of the Vampire and you're right back in the game. Lifelink just such a huge ability in this racing format of triple Ixalan. Now Rivals might be a slower format, so it mightn't be as good, but let me just, yeah, a big sidetrack there, but I'm going to get to the card. Squire's Devotion, 2 and a white for an Aura enchantment. Your creature gets +1/+1 and lifelink, which is, you know, pretty solid. And you also get a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. So at the very worst, even if they do kill the creature later on, you still got a 1/1 lifelink Retta, and they had to use a removal spell on it. So it's pretty good. But I will warn you that the removal in this set looks a lot better. So they can kill at instant speed. So if you're enchanting, you won't even get the 1/1 lifelink if they kill at instant speed. So be very wary of that. I think you probably should play this in your deck. Lifelink's a cool mechanic. But, you know, be a bit wary if they have, like, if you've seen an instant game one, maybe wait till they tap out before you enchant your creature with this. Okay, moving on to Moment of Triumph. Really like this combat trick. 1 white mana, instant speed. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you gain 2 life, which synergizes with that 2-drop I was talking about earlier. And, you know, Vampire Zeal was very playable in the last set, and that was, you know, very similar. So I'll probably give this probably a C+. I just think it's a really good card. Next card here, Sun-Crested Pterodon. Thank you for whoever corrected me. I was saying Petrodon every time, but it's Pterodon. So it's 4 and a white for a 2/5 flyer dinosaur, and it's got Vigilance as long as you control another dinosaur. This one here, again, I wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing to put in your deck, but it's not very good. Maybe the 23rd card if you're desperate. At pre-release, I would advise not playing this. It's 5 mana for a 2/5 flying. Vigilance, not super relevant, as I said with Sun Sentinel. It's just not that good. If you've got anything better, put it in your deck. But if you're desperate, you can put it in. I'll probably give this card a D plus because it has flying. So last card in white is Cleansing Ray. 1 and a white for a sorcery, and it's a modal card. You can either destroy target vampire or destroy target enchantment. And this card, I'll give this card a sideboard rating. You bring it in versus an enchantment that you can't beat, or, you know, a heavy vampire deck. And, you know, just keep it in your sideboard basically. Don't main deck this because if you play against dinosaurs, you know, it's not going to be very good. It's just going to sit in your hand and do nothing. So I hope you enjoyed the set review. You know, let me know what you think. If you disagree with any of my ratings, let me know. I'm sure you do. And thanks for watching.